Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be doing my full 1-to-400 scale collection update for the summer of 2024. As you can see, my collection has grown a lot since the last update, which is kind of surprising since I was traveling abroad for 4 of the past 6 months. But nonetheless, I have gained quite a few models. I have a total of 188 models. As you can see, they almost totally take up my big table as well as another smaller table, so I'm running out of space to display them all, but I'm very excited to get into this. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get straight into going over every model. Getting started with United, the largest airline in my collection here, we have 2 United Express CRJ 200s in the new livery and 1 in the old livery. We have 2 United Express CRJ 550s, a United Express Embraer 170, and 2 United Express Embraer 175s. Next here we have 2 United Airbus A319s, a United Airbus A320 in the Stars and Bars retro livery. There is a rumor that this one is actually supposed to be repainted soon, so that's definitely unfortunate. I hope that's not true because this is a really pretty livery and it's also my only United A320, and that would suck if it was no longer realistic. So hope that rumor's not true. So yeah, hopefully this doesn't get repainted. Next here we have 2 United 737-700s, one in the old livery, one in the new livery, a United 737-800, 2 United 737-900ERs in the new livery, and 1 in the old livery. After that, we have 2 United 737 MAX 8s and 1 MAX 9. I'm really glad Gemini Jets finally released this, although I would like to get a second one, just like I have 2 MAX 8s. And then to finish off this row here, we have a United Airbus A321neo. On to the next row here, we have a United Boeing 757-200 in the Continental Globe livery, and 1 in the new livery. We have 2 United 757-200s in the Here Art Here liveries. We have the California and the New York. We have a United 757-300 in the Continental Globe livery, and a United 757-300 in the new livery. Next here we have a United 767-300 in the new livery, a United 767-400, a United 787-9, a United 777-200ER in the Star Alliance livery, and a United 777-300ER. Moving on to American here, we have an American Eagle CRJ 200, 2 American Eagle CRJ 700s, an American Eagle CRJ 900, 3 American Eagle ERJ 145s. One of these is the 2015 Envoy release, and the other 2 are the 2022 Piedmont release. We have 2 American Eagle Embraer 170s, 1 in the regular livery and 1 in the Envoy retro livery. And then we have 3 American Eagle Embraer 175s. These are all the most recent Envoy release. Getting into mainline here, we have an American Airbus A319, 2 American Airbus A320s, the 2022 release and the 2020 release. We have 2 American 737-800s in the regular livery and 1 in the One World livery. We have an American 737 MAX 8, an American Airbus A321 in the flagship Valor livery, an American Airbus A321neo, an American 787-8, and an American 777-200ER. Moving on over to Delta here, we have a Delta Connection CRJ 200, a Delta Connection CRJ 700. We have 2 Delta Connection CRJ 900s. Both of these are the 2021 release. We have a Delta Connection Embraer 170 and a Delta Connection Embraer 175. Next here in mainline, we have a Delta Boeing 717-200, a Delta Airbus A220-100, a Delta Airbus A220-300, a Delta Airbus A319, a Delta Airbus A320, 2 Delta 737-800s. Both of these are, I believe, the 2007 or 8 Gemini Jets release. I am thinking I'm going to sell one of these and get the new NG one with the split scimitar winglets, since eventually the whole fleet will have those. But currently I just have 2 of these older Gemini ones. Then we have 1 of the NG Delta 737-900ERs. Have a Delta McDonnell Douglas MD-90, a Delta Airbus A321 in the Thank You livery, a Delta Boeing 757-200, a Delta Boeing 757-300, a Delta Boeing 767-300, a Delta Boeing 767-400, and a Delta Airbus A330-300. And moving on to Southwest, which is a fleet that actually has grown quite a bit since the last collection update, thanks to a bunch of nice releases from NG. Getting started, we have quite an old model. This is the, I believe, from 2001 Gemini Jets 737-700 in the Canyon Blue livery. I'm still keeping this kind of with my main Southwest fleet because there are still a few 700s left in the Canyon Blue livery. Not sure how much longer those are going to be around, so hopefully they take their time repainting those and we get to see those in the sky for a while longer. Next here we have two 737-700s by NG. We have the blended winglets and the Scimitar winglets, and then we have the Scimitar winglet 737-700 by Panda models. We have a Southwest 737-800, a Southwest 737-800 in the New Mexico 1 livery, and then two Southwest 737 MAX 8s. Moving on to Alaska here, we have an Alaska Embraer 175, an Alaska 737-700, an Alaska 737-900ER, and an Alaska 737 MAX 9 in the West Coast Wonders livery. On to the next row here, we have a JetBlue Airbus A220-300 in the Hop's tail, a JetBlue Airbus A320 in the High-Rise tail, a JetBlue Airbus A320 with sharklets in the Blueberries tail, a JetBlue A320 with sharklets in the new livery, what is that tail called? Spotlight tail. I really like JetBlue's new livery. This is my first model I've gotten of it, and I hope to get some more in the future. And then we have a JetBlue Airbus A321 in the Prisms tail. Next here we have a Sun Country 737-800 in the Tide Pod livery. We have an Allegiant Airbus A319, an Allegiant Airbus A320 in the Older Travelers Art Deal livery, and an Allegiant Airbus A320 with sharklets in the new livery. Have a Frontier A320 Neo in the Baja the Whale Shark livery, and a Frontier A321 in the Steve the Eagle livery. Only two of these. This is a fleet I definitely want to grow. I probably will get one of the new Aero Classics Frontier A321 Neos to add to the fleet, and hopefully we get some more releases of just 320 Neos and get a couple of more tails for that, since yeah, I would really like to expand my Frontier fleet. Moving on here, we have a Spirit Airbus A320 in the hybrid between the scratched up and Spirit.com engines. This one is by Aero Classics. We have a Spirit Airbus A320 Neo in the newer titles, and a Spirit Airbus A321 with the older Home of the Bear Fair titles. Next here we have a Breeze Embraer 190 and a Breeze A220-300. And getting into some kind of miscellaneous regional models here, we have a Republic Airways Embraer 175, a Mesa Airlines CRJ 900, an Air Wisconsin CRJ 200. We have a JSX ERJ 145 and a Contour ERJ 145. Getting into some kind of charter and cargo aircraft here, we have an Eastern Boeing 767-300 in the fingerprint livery. We have a National Airbus A330-200. Getting into cargo here, we have a DHL Boeing 737-400, an Amerijet Boeing 767-300, a FedEx Boeing 757-200, and a FedEx Boeing 757-300. We have a UPS Boeing 757-200, a UPS Boeing 767-300, and a UPS Boeing 747-8. That is actually the interactive series. We have a Kalitta Charters 2, 727-200, and a Kalitta Air 747-400 in the mask livery. We have another pretty recent pickup, that is the Atlas Air / Apex Logistics 747-8F. This was actually the last 747 ever built, and I really wanted to pick this one up because I actually got to see this being delivered to Atlas at CVG. So that was a really cool experience, and I'm really glad I have the model to commemorate that. And that does conclude it for cargo. Next up, we have our one up-to-date military aircraft. I need to get some more of these, and that is the U.S. Air Force Dover-based C-17 Globemaster. And now getting into some international aircraft here, we have an Air Canada Express CRJ-200. These were unfortunately retired pretty recently, so that's kind of sad. Next here we have an Air Canada Express CRJ-900 and an Air Canada Airbus A220-300. We also over here have a WestJet 737-800, and kind of getting into Latin America here, we have an Avianca A320. That is a very exciting addition. I absolutely love their livery. And moving on here, we have a Volaris A320 Neo in the Cien Aviones livery, and an Aeromexico 737-800. And now getting into Europe here, we have an Icelandair 737 MAX 8. We have a Luxair Q400, an Aer Lingus Regional ATR 72. We have an Aer Lingus, Airbus A321neo, a Ryanair Boeing 737-800. We have a BA City Flyer Embraer 190, a British Airways Airbus A319, a British Airways Boeing 787-8, a British Airways Boeing 787-10, a British Airways Airbus A350-1000, a British Airways Boeing 777-200ER. This is actually quite an interesting model now because I actually flew on this exact registration 777 from Cincinnati to London Heathrow at the beginning of the year when I was on my way to England. So that's actually really cool. At the moment, that is the only model in my collection that I have been on the real life equivalent of. So that's pretty cool, and I hope to add some more like it in the future. Next here we have a British Airways Boeing 777-300ER, a British Airways Boeing 747-400, a British Airways Airbus A380, and also just another IAG group airline, we have an Iberia Airbus A350-900. Moving on to Virgin Atlantic here, we have a Virgin Atlantic Airbus A330-300, a Virgin Atlantic Airbus A330-900neo, a Virgin Atlantic Boeing 787-9, a Virgin Atlantic Airbus A350-1000, and a Virgin Atlantic Boeing 747-400. Getting into KLM here, we have a KLM Embraer 190, a KLM Airbus A330-200, a KLM Boeing 787-9 in the 100 years kind of sticker there, and we have a KLM Boeing 777-300ER. Next here we have an Air France Airbus A350-900. We have a Lufthansa Airbus A330-300, a Lufthansa Boeing 787-9, a Lufthansa Airbus A350-900, and one I had been after for quite a while. It is the Lufthansa Boeing 747-8i in the retro livery. This was one that I had been after for quite a long time, ever since I got to see it up close at Chicago O'Hare in 2021, and luckily we got a really nice release from YY Models, who are kind of a new company, but this is a really nice model, and I might do kind of a specific model review on this one. I'll just have to see, but yeah, so keep an eye out for that. Next up here we have an Austrian Boeing 777-200ER in the 60 years livery. We have a Turkish Boeing 787-9, and we're now kind of into the Middle East and Asia. And next over here we have an El Al Boeing 787-9 in the Jerusalem of Gold livery. Next up here we have a Qatar Boeing 777-300ER. We have an Emirates Boeing 777-300ER in the new livery. We have an Emirates Airbus A380 in the old livery. Well, it's technically not really the old livery. I mean, bit like most of their fleet is still painted in this livery, but you know, it is sort of the old livery since they have now introduced a new livery. And then moving on over to the Far East here, we have a Japan Airlines Boeing 787-9 and an ANA Boeing 787-9 in the R2-D2 livery. Getting into some more retro models here, we have a US Airways Express Embraer 170, a Continental 737-200 in the red Contrails livery, a Sobel Air Boeing 737-800, a National Boeing 757-200, an Omni Air International Boeing 757-200, an Allegiant Boeing 757-200 in the Travel is Our Deal livery. We have an American 757-200 and an American 767-300. Absolutely love these chrome liveries. Definitely need to get some more of these. And then here we have some Concordes. Here we have the British Airways Concorde and the Air France. Got both liveries. Kind of like to get some more of those and some more interesting liveries. But yeah, so that's just kind of a little goal for the future. And then we have another really interesting model, which is my US Air Force, or I think at the time it wasn't even called US Air Force, but B-29. So yeah, that's a really neat model by Dragon Wings. And now getting into the last row here, we have a Delta McDonnell Douglas MD-11 in the Colors in Motion livery. We have an Air Canada Airbus A330-300. We have an Iberia, and I said this was an A330, this is an A340, so that's my bad. Yeah, A340-300. Then we have an Iberia Airbus A340-300. We have an Iberia Airbus A340-600. We have a TWA Boeing 747-100. Absolutely love their final livery. I would definitely like to get some more models in this livery. It just looks so nice. Then we have a Transamerica Boeing 747-200. we have a Malaysia Boeing 747-400, which unfortunately the front landing gear broke off while I was setting this up, so I'm gonna need to fix that. Luckily, it's a pretty easy fix, so that shouldn't be too bad, but you know, that kind of sucks. So yeah, this is currently broken. And then our final two models, we have some United retro models. We have a United DC-8-21 in the Saul Bass livery, and a model that I actually picked up off eBay while I was in England that I've been after for quite a while, and that is a United Boeing 747-400 in the gorgeous Battleship Gray livery. And with that, that does end off my entire collection. And as I said, that does end off my entire 1-400 scale collection. I am really happy with how my collection is coming along. I've been getting a lot of really interesting models in the past couple of months that I was really happy to show you guys. Again, I'm really hoping to make it to 200 models by my next collection update. Shouldn't be too hard, just need 12 more models, but then we would be at 200, which is a huge milestone. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, I mean, with that does conclude today's video, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to let me know with a like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have time, leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts. How many models do you have in your collection, or do you even have a 1-400 collection? Do you collect another scale? Let me know. I would love to hear from you. So with that concludes today's video, and I hope you guys have an absolutely incredible rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.